D-Weezy on the track. D-Weezy on the track.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another AF Minicast. I'm the Graphic Gangster. That's Small Arms Danny. We got the commish Tyler Treadway. And then from Parts Unknown, we have Mr. Brian Peters. And from the kitchen table, we have Mr. Cory G.
Yo, what's good? What's good? Your boy Cory G from Parts Unknown. Brian Peters in the house. Cole, you're getting good at this.
Yeah, shout out the Undertaker and Kane.
Shout out Cole Susak.
Yeah. Peter.
Yes.
Thank you.
Amazing. Brian Peters just happened to pull up. Very similar to the day that I was like, hey, I'm thinking about buying an island. And he's like, hey, my family has a boat at the lake. Let me drive you over there. This same type of situation. But he pulled up. I think he was helping Dustin with the sauna. Now he's out here laying out knowledge. And I said, we throw him on the fucking podcast. See if we can add some value to you, the listener here at Cory G Fitness. So over to Small Arms, Danny, the Chancellor of Events.
I say, where do we even start? I guess, should we just talk about how interesting Brian's life is at this point?
Yeah.
Like what's going on in your life right now? You kind of live in Ohio. You kind of live out west somewhere. You're on the road, 20 out of 30 days of the month. So what's going on in your world right now?
Well, again, you guys don't have to twist my arm to be on the podcast. You guys are some of my favorite humans to talk to. But my recent description of my life is I'm just chaos wrapped in turmoil. But
hey, but is there a sprinkle of love in there too?
Oh, what are you talking? little love. But no, I ended up buying a cabin in Idaho, which will be like a West Coast home base, kind of my island, my place to protect my peace. And got the first things first, I set up the gym under the porch there. So I got an outdoor gym.
How many racks did you put in, Brian? Because I saw it looked like you did two or three.
It's one. Racks. It's a Sornex, like it's a massive stainless steel rack, so it's perfect for outside. So it's one rack, and then Schlegs had given me a rack, or we did like some gypsy bartering for a rack for COVID, and I disassembled that and turned
gypsy bartering.
Yeah. But so I disassembled that and turned that into like a wall rack unit. So I have like a belt squat, a dip bar, and that kind of thing down the wall too.
Nice.
I want to put the finishing touches on the gym, and then I'll start pumping some content, which I'm long overdue for mentally, respirationally, and philosophically. Wow. So basically,
you bought how big is the property?
The property is only like 2.6 acres, but it backs up to Forest Service land. So I when I've had time out there. I mean, I've owned the property for 2 months. I probably spent 2 weeks total there because I'm on the road. But my morning routine when I'm out there, it's kind of in my head. I'm calling it like my Sisyphus morning. Sisyphus being the character that punished to Eternal pushing the rock up the hill. Mm-hmm. And so I'll start carrying rocks and sleds or whatever I can figure out. But right now I'm hiking up with just a ruck. But in the morning, it's to the first peak. There's like 4 false peaks too, which is there's a whole microcosm there. But
sure.
But to the first peak, it takes about 30 minutes, and it's uphill.
That's awesome.
And then I pop back down. The well water there is cold, so I take a little cold shower, get my Max Effort pre-workout in me, and then so I got 4 clean days. And I was telling the boys earlier, like it's been a while since I've buried the excuses and hopped into a morning routine like I had with you boys out here at 4 a.m. and like this last couple weeks has been fucking nails for me personally. So.
Well, I know I probably speak for all of us. Like it's inspiring to watch you just go do something like that, Brian. Yeah. Because all of us knowing you like we do, to see like, obviously with what I just went through with the island too, like seeing this version of what you're doing with this and just fucking making it happen, bro, and building your life of how you want it. And we've talked about this for a while, like you having like a home base of where like you can actually, I don't know, be creative, potentially hold retreats, do whatever, have your own sanctuary. So it's really cool. Like when I started seeing you doing it, I was like, this is fucking awesome. And I think there's a lot of people that can, I don't know, just draw inspiration from seeing somebody go execute something like that. I mean, you're clearly not from Idaho.
Yeah.
You're figuring it out on the fucking fly, but you kind of know what you want and what you want the narrative or backdrop to look like for, I think, your happiness, and you're going to do it. So fuck yeah.
Well, I appreciate that massively. I mean, you guys know me better than a lot of humans on the planet, but it's still chasing edges encapsulated just a different way. Yeah. Because out there, like capability is a different thing than city capability.
For sure.
It's it's machines and building, but it's also like off-grid skill, because like we're solar and those things, but a lot when I speak on sleep hygiene and life now, like a lot of people's problems, a lot of people's health will say, like my theme has been like, if a plant doesn't grow, you don't fix the plant, you fix the environment. And I wasn't growing in some of my habits and relationships at the time, and now it's like, it's something that always fed me. It fed chasing edges. Is every time you move locations and get cut and change teams, it's okay, where can I get better? Where are my systems not in place? And the environment help, like that change of scenery, that environment help dictate way better habits. And like now that I've gotten, like, even I'm just referring to a week that I got to spend there in sequence, and I couldn't have felt better.
You almost
about
feel
it.
more whole, Brian?
More whole. Yeah. It's, I do love fire and change and learning. And so the space and the less social input is something that I'm around humans. I run workshops where I'm speaking constantly, and then that comes with strings attached and all these things. So yeah, I feel more, it's more whole by subtraction.
Oh, no question.
Which
why do you think I bought a fucking island?
Yeah. Surrounded by water. But yeah, so it's been just the quick taste I've gotten of it is I'm already like starting to say no. I canceled things in October. Like I'm already protecting my peace, and
you needed that, Brian.
Yeah, and the creativity that's come from it that you guys have been pushing me for years, and you've seen the roller coaster of it. But now it's on my own without even the intent of putting it out. I'm blogging, I'm writing, I'm recapturing quotes and creating new logic, and I'm really excited about the we'll hopefully call it a windfall of information that I can share in the future.
Or really just, I mean, what I hear is you just created this space so you can all the way be yourself and then execute these creative things that have been swirling for a while, but maybe they're just like in the right spots now so you can execute and get them out, or they will be even more so as you spend more time there. I've had a similar feeling with the island for myself. Like the amount of books I'm getting ready to drop over the next few months and the things that I've got like in line is because I've just created more space for me to think and execute. And yeah, and I think I'm honestly coming up with better ideas for the businesses that these guys are helping implement, because I can't do what they do, right? And so it's like it's been good. So I think that's all on the horizon for you.
Yeah, hell yeah. I think you need space to create art. Like it's a noise cancellation thing to some extent, but yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
cool. Throw it to you.
Yeah, let's talk about the art of your body. Can we talk about
that?
Yeah, I'm just out here putting
I'm
work.
bringing sexy back. Yeah.
All right, Peter. So let's give something tangible for the people in the Cory G universe right now. So can we talk about like sleep and like sleep hygiene? Because I know you're into this. Like, how can like most of the people on the app are like dads or busy parents or stuff like that. But like, what are some easy, simple things that people can do to get better sleep?
Super easy. I'm getting my reps at presenting this now, so I can condense it very fast.
Good call, Cole.
Well, I got thrown into this weirdly. I'd help some of the NFL guys fix their sleep, and their team asked me to create a sleep hygiene playbook for the team. That's dope. Yeah, the first version was too much science and that, so I dumbed it down for cavemen.
Yeah,
I'm a translator, like at heart in general, of like how I coach, but sleep simple, like, and the goal is, and football guys get it, normal humans get it, we want easy, but it's like, how can we make so much of our health and environment like clicks away, set it and forget it mindset? So in simplest forms, like the biggest influence on your sleep is light, but we flip the lights on to brush our teeth, and that like dulls our natural production of melatonin, tiredness. It can even stimulate people in different ways with the angle of light, all this stuff. Long story short, take away blue light, 90 minutes. I live in 90-minute patterns because REM cycles are 90 minutes.
Ooh.
And so if you have kind of like a 90-minute boundary on when you start taking light away, your natural sleep will kind of start to progress, the tiredness. And then after that, you can stack, because like what's controllable in your sleep environment. So my concept here is create your cave. And so in that realm, it's like I can take light away, mimicking that I'm in a cave. I can mimic temperature. We can control temperature now. So most of the high-end sleep research is 65 to 68, but it goes from 60 to 69.
Hey.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Danny.
Shout out. Yeah. Shout out. Yeah. But so I can control light. Yeah.
All right, train back on the tracks. Go ahead.
I can control light. I can control sound. I can control smell. Smell has these awesome effects on cueing. It's like Pavlov's dog. Like if you get to the point where you ring the bell, the mouth salivates. Smell can help cue that. Light can help cue that. Temperature can help cue that. So now you just have this couple light switches, a thermostat press away, and then most people, the most athletes and humans, I run into like looking at their phone, looking at whatever. And you guys knew from back in the day with chasing edges shit. Just
three. Do you think the fan does that too, Brian?
Fan's white noise. So now you can control sound, and so now you're talking about
it's the same type of like concept, right, as those cueing.
And then like you can shortcut your phone. Kyle, zoom in. Your phone should go red. Kyle, zoom out. But so because some people need to wind down watching their shows, but all like Apple and Android, you can do both those. But then now if you have to watch a show, use your computer or iPad and like do the same accessibility functions. And now, okay, my entire sleep environment, and now you add sounds for consistency. If you live in an area where you don't have the luxury of an island and bugs and water and that kind of thing, okay, have the body physiologically, we crave consistency. So now you get the opportunity to control the whole environment. White noise works. I think people are psychopaths that sleep with that one. But I like forest noises or running water. Some people like storms, whatever. Find something that you and your partner or whoever agree on, and then now you have consistency there, and it dulls out the outliers of me living downtown Columbus, Ohio, the bass shaking your house and waking you up or whatever, you know? But obviously if you have kids, then keep your cameras close or whatever. But so now your whole environment's in check, and then add consistency to the timing of your sleep. And then the whole program, the 90-minute program I coach, is to subtract sleep stress, because like you don't want athletes in particular waking up after a bad night of sleep and thinking it's going to influence performance. So how do you reprogram them to either prep because they know they're bad sleepers before games and take a nap the day before or 2 days before? Because most people get so honed in on that one night that in reality, most of the research that doesn't get pumped out on social media and all this shit is that because they'll say all these reaction times drop, focus attention drops, whatever, creative thinking, all these things. But if you zoom out to a week and try and capture like bare minimum for Gen Pop, which is why you see the zoomed in version is like all this line at 6 hours. If you get under 6 hours, you're fucked. Yeah, but if you zoom out and just don't miss more than like one night of sleep, 28's the minimum. So that would be 6 REM cycles a night. So yeah, four 90-minute REM cycles equals 6 hours. Okay. And then part of what people don't understand about sleep too is timing and consistency. Is like if you time up hitting a REM cycle, like, because have you ever slept, this is a bad question for this 4 a.m. room, but in that room, have you ever slept for 3 hours and woke up and felt fine, and then slept for 10 hours and felt like a bag of dicks?
Yeah, that's why I never want to feel like a bag of dicks.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking for, I always like to feel like I've always felt much better at 5, like that 5 to 6 to 7.
Yeah.
If I would have one of those where you like feel like you hibernated, unless I was really smoked, I felt worse. And so my thing is like, could I have like an elite 6? And then maybe grab 7 on the weekends. And it just seems like that was my big thing, was like, but I do a lot of the things you're already talking about.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how a lot of my shit has ended up over time, right? It's like shut off all the phone and everything. I don't really watch TV in my room either. I haven't really for a really long time. And then like right to the fan, right around between 9 or 10, like trying to keep it real consistent. You said 2 things, create the cave and something about craving consistency. What was it?
Yeah, there's like physiological consistency is something we overlook because
big time.
Yeah, because if we're trying to capture 8 hours of sleep, which is kind of a myth because the math doesn't check out, but human REM cycles are there's deviation in that realm. But so anchor wake up time is big in the psychology community and the physiology community of sleep. So it's your body's just like an anticipatory like threat avoider, like problem generator kind of thing in that realm. And so same reason why it's good that you don't have a lot of shit on the walls and you don't watch TV in your room is our brain compartmentalizes actions and behaviors and things they anticipate in each room, where it's like if you blur the boundaries, like your brain could potentially be anticipating different rewards or different feelings. So like I have these stupid like signs in the workbook where it's like warning, like bedrooms only for sex and sleep.
Yeah.
So it's like two great things, win-win.
Yeah.
But it's like, but it's in that realm, it's important to understand where same as like writing for me, like, and part of like I wasn't like I blurred the boundaries in this house in Ohio. I was doing everything in the like my open room kitchen and
in the kitchen,
kitchen and like couch kind of thing, and all these things would blur together. But once I started going to the coffee shop or going into the little office there, like you understand your brain starts to pair behaviors with environments. No and question. So the better you get at being aware of those things, and I'd say always protect your sleep first. But now, once you get the consistent environment, now move to the consistent wake up time. Like life's a little variable there, but like usually your wake up time can be protected even if you have kids.
For sure.
But the goal of this program is your go of sleep time and your total time for each in particular night is not as important. Like life's going to happen. You can do date nights. You're going to have sleepovers. You can do whatever. But if you get a bad night of sleep, it shouldn't be the end of the world. There's ways to combat that with some creatines and stuff in the morning. But then I can grab a nap in these circadian dip windows of like 1 to 3 o'clock. But people just don't understand what's happening in the body for sleep.
I think that I've got historically a bad rap that I don't value sleep. And it's actually the opposite. I value high quality sleep.
Yep.
And like, so if I look at my normal like kind of rhythm, I set no alarm Saturday, Sunday. Haven't for a really long time. Because we used to try to train on Saturdays, but it didn't last real long because everybody was so young. It wasn't happening, right? But the reality is like I'll sleep till 6:30 almost every time. It's a 3-hour difference. I get up at 3:30 normally.
Yep.
So I feel like it's noon. So there, and I don't know scientifically if you can catch up. Like I don't even like really like frame it that way. But I just know I'm resting until my body just naturally wakes up twice a week. And the other days I force the consistency. But I also know if I cheat the system and go to bed at 11 or 11:30, or like Treadway's watching the fucking OKC like late on the West Coast, I know that workout's going to suffer that next day. And then I will usually the following day like be mindful. Like, and I'll even tell Rachel like I got to be in bed by 9:15. Like. And sometimes I might even creep to 8:30 because I burn the candles too much on that one. So it's like I do like value it. I just think that maybe I was mistaken on maybe how I've like, you know, like my dialogue around it.
Yeah, and it's creating a system that's like, again, everything you do, diet, workouts, you're tracking.
It's all pushing towards that. They're all parts of it.
Yeah, and like you're not like, because what time are you waking up? 3 a.m. there?
3:30.
Yeah, so it's like you're still hitting that 6-hour window in the realm of like general human health. Like there's not a lot of research against 28 REM cycles a week, which you were hitting.
Yeah.
Because 6 hours is enough for humans, but like when you get, it's a fragile line when you get below that, then you start getting these longer term problems, and everybody's genetically a little different, and
for sure
their sleep chronotype of like morning person, night person, that stuff's a little different in their system, but like that's enough, and you were doing enough, and it wasn't detrimental to your body comp, brain clarity, creativity, entrepreneurship,
like it was all working,
nothing.
Brian.
So yeah, so like I think people give these, again, just the perception.
It's like a broad blanketed statement. You need 8 or you're gonna die young or some shit. And I'm like,
and
okay.
No, but in the realm of optimal performance, and some of this, Nick Littlehale is one of my mentors in the space, but they did all this stuff, and Premier League soccer has been ahead of our sports science for sure. Millennia. Yeah. And they travel with sleep kits and do all these incredible things for their athletes, but they do the research on reaction time, endurance, aerobic output, anaerobic output, all these things. And in essence, 35 REM cycles for the high performers, the minimum, but that's 7.5 hours. It's not some wicked, and like, so, and then like icing on the cake is 9, but you see the math start to play out, but now you give guys some grace where it's like, okay, I get 6 hours this night for high performers, or 4.5 for whatever, like Gen Pop, however you want to say it. And then you have these natural windows to kind of steal back a partial REM cycle and just count it. And where it's like and this is all based on sleep pressure, like, and this is like people now, because like in the packet I talk about nicotine, caffeine, marijuana, and alcohol's influence on sleep too. But if you understand caffeine being the adenosine blocker, adenosine in essence one of the main things that builds up your tiredness. We kind of live on like 8 and 16 hour cycles of like awakens a sleep time, which is all driven by light, which is why it's a priority in my system. But no matter what your wake up time is, about 16 hours later, you'll get this tired kind of buildup. And part of the brain's job is to wash that adenosine out, which is why Daddy Huberman and that crew say, hold off for an hour before you drink caffeine, because if you wake up in the middle of a REM cycle and you feel like shit, the movement and the sun and all these things will finish that out. And now you won't need as much caffeine to keep dulling those receptors, because looking at caffeine as more of an anti-tired than a pro-energy. It does uptick physiology and heart rate. And yes, it's good for reaction time and thinking and focus and stuff. But again, if you can use less of a dose, like now you're later hours
You're using less drugs.
Yeah, and your energy's less of a roller coaster, which is what people want. Is we want consistent energy.
Yeah,
you know,
facts. That's good.
Yeah,
great question. Cool.
Yo, I just wanted to bring this up because also, Peters, I saw the little the preview deck that Small Arm sent me, and I have been using the red, the 3-click automation, and I will say, because I was having issues where I'd be dead tired, I'd go to bed, and my mind would fucking race. And I'd be tired. I know I'm tired, but for some reason I'm laying in bed and I just, every
body
thought,
tired, mine's not.
Yes, my brain is just constantly coming up with ideas and shit that I know I shouldn't be thinking about right now because I'm trying to go to sleep. Started using the red light stuff like that. Immediately felt better.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were
felt
something.
better. Well, and I'm not a huge TV guy at night, so I use most of the time it's background noise. But then I'm looking at my phone and then going to the bathroom and flipping on lights. Yeah. It's like a fucking shock. It's I don't want this at all.
Well, and I even operate in the mornings all the way, even when I do my conditioning stuff, low light. I don't actually probably, and it's funny because I have sensitive eyes anyway, just because I've wore contacts since I was a little kid. And so, but it's funny because my wife will come in and immediately that's the first thing she wants to do. And I'm like, yo, I'm not done with my situation yet. I like to keep it low all the way really till I start my day for real. And so obviously I come here, but the shadows in the gym aren't crazy bright. So it's but I've operated like that too. And if you feel more stable, I don't know.
And then also the white noise. I am a psychopath and I listen to it when it's crack.
Psycho.
Yeah.
Cuckoo.
Yeah. But
that's good.
But anyways, it's just again, you're a very aware person. You know how you feel. You know what system works for you. You've tried diets. You've gotten enough feedback on all that stuff. And I think it's important because because now you get into when to actually be creative, when to prioritize work, all these 100%. Things. It's it still should be 90 minutes away from wake up because some of this brain processes are still clearing themselves out. But then you said something else. We were just talking about Nate Ebner earlier, extremely high performer, but he's always been a good, clean feedback loop for my practices. But he always reads his Kindle at night, and he was struggling. It's taking longer to fall asleep, and he goes he's as blunt as can be. About half the time I got tired, fell asleep, turn it off. It's okay, and the same thing for me. If I am watching Kill Tony or something, which my Monday habit. I do red light and I'll fall asleep before the show ends. So I have my own feedback to where I know this shit works and the logic and the science and everything that is there. So it's
I can't read at night. I want to be the guy that's I'll just read a little bit. Dude, it puts me to sleep immediately.
Yeah.
Because I think I can't do a mindless, I'm already smoked by that point. I'm just fucking done. So I tried it again. I literally try it all the time. I can only really read or do that creative stuff after training in the morning. Other than that, I got no shot at it. And so that's where, Brian, to your point, I added and subtracted the things. I'm not going to do a spreadsheet with Tyler at 7 a.m. because that's when I do these other things where my creative time is. I do that past usually noon or 10 because I know I'm not going to do the creative stuff anymore. And I've stacked or time blocked those things over time because I just know it's different parts of my brain and they just don't work the same way at different times of the day.
Yeah, but most people don't know how they feel and they just try and fit the square peg in the round hole, you know? Yeah. So that's how I, with my business humans, even athletes in that realm too, when do we do our work and why? Most of the time you don't ask the question, you know?
Yeah. Quick break and we'll be right back with the illustrious Brian Peters. And now we're back and Danny's still small.
Yep.
Let's start the treadway real quick. You got something in there?
Treadway.
What's up, Poppy?
Hey, did you hear how they called Treadway the commissioner? That's of the low rim league.
I like
just
that.
So, just in case you weren't aware, Brian.
Oh, Daddy watches all the clips.
I still watched a clip of you tearing down the basketball hoop because that was a great.
He did Venmo me.
Oh yeah. R.I.P. I pay my debts. Yeah.
So I know that you're all about consistency and you're talking about all of these systems that you use to make yourself more efficient. How does that work when you're on the road? Like with such an inconsistent schedule, how do you find time to like find normalcy in your schedule and still get things done?
Oh, you'll see the hypocrite in me real fast, but I'm honest with everybody with how I struggle massively with it. Motivation, sleep, all the above. Like I'm sleeping in the truck some nights. I'm at 10,000 feet altitude. Other nights at ranches that I coach at, all those things. But what I know to be true is when I do stay disciplined and do the shit I preach, which is this is why it's the hypocrite in me. But the shit works, and then now that I'll have more consistency in Idaho, I've already seen the results, and that's why I'm more excited for the future of this chaos, this wrapped in turmoil window of my life closing, because I do crave it. And it is difficult on the road, but more or less that's me not preparing in time to like drive to a place to get in bed at time and that kind of thing. So
are there certain things, like I don't want to say are there like hacks that you use, but are there certain things that you will implement when you're on the road that'll kind of help keep you on some sort of like consistent path?
Yeah, I use substances more in that realm. I'm saying on the downreg side, also caffeine and nicotine while I drive. But in that realm, one thing I started traveling with a lot is glycine to downreg at night. And then if I'm sleeping in the truck, I have my bag of glycine. I take 25 grams of that, and and then I have my Alpha Stim, which is a down regulation device for the parasympathetic side of the body. That drops me. So with the glycine, Alpha Stim, and then I triple click my phone if I'm watching something or listening to something, and that drops me. So
glycine is just a fast sugar, right?
Say that again.
Glycine.
It's a sugar substitute because it is that granular sugar taste. Like you can throw 5 grams in coffee too. It's good for skin. Yep. Some other things, but it's amino acid. But but people don't look at that as like a natural, because I don't like melatonin. It doesn't matter how long I sleep. When I get up off melatonin, I don't feel great, and it's not an adenosine thing because I tested that too. So I've always shied away from melatonin, and I've used these interventions with some of my military guys that have been on trazodone too, and it's been successful. So
that's cool.
Yeah, the Alpha Stim, it's an expensive tool, like full price. It's like $1,300, or like the base unit I think is $800 or something. But for me, that's when I use more of my hacks to get to, like, if I am sleeping for 4.5 hours in the back of the truck, like I'm hitting that window. But the wake up time's different because I'm more or less hustling to get. I mean, my last big trip was 6,700 miles. So it's just like, yeah, that's more me not planning, or I get stuck in a place and I start talking and trying to help everybody and that kind of thing. So I have my own boundaries and battles there, but the road's tough. I use the hacks around sleep and flying more than I do anything in that scenario. But yeah, I'll point the thumb and say I need to be better there for sure.
It's good.
Yeah.
Danny.
So over like the past year, you moving to Idaho, you working with, whoever from special forces, fire, whatever it may be. What is something like maybe you change your mind on from the time you started in this space to maybe now, or something that you're excited about currently learning more about?
Yeah, I've kind of attacked my own community, not like my teachings, in some scenarios where a lot of the world of breathing, it didn't matter what you put out. Like, cause like you guys have seen some of my practices where like how I coach breathing is a very like simple, like 8-button remote or 8 variables to be aware of. And then people started attacking hyperventilation, like hypoventilation, underbreathing and overbreathing, the inhales and the exhales, and like you couldn't win. So I started pushing back on the whole community there, because it got into, this is going to be a lot probably, but the capnography and like measurements, and because the tech's gotten better in tracking my world and thoracic expansion and all these things. So a lot of people want to put their 2 cents when they kind of haven't been in the trenches trying to solve problems with breathers for a long time. And so I've just become more and more anti-tracking and more feel in the realm of breathing. So that might not be like a clean answer of something I don't hold anymore, because I mean, my brain gets blown all the time just with podcasts and talking to Dr. Serrano and all these things. But yeah, I would attack the science behind all the breathing when people just need to learn the basics of the tools and application, because that's the more profound results I've gotten with Gen Pop all the way to athletes. So if that makes sense. And we've talked about some of the principles as you train for your, I don't know, a crucifixion or workout selection, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, we'll call it like a fun workout, but which again, I admire you. Like, I think that's one of the coolest decisions to put yourself into that scrutiny. And I mean, it embodies what you guys do here. You put shit under the lights, you test yourselves, and like that's something that I've gotten away from that I'm getting back to, where I'm excited about life. But the breathing principles we talked about, just those kind of very simple principles of like before you go up a hill or when you get time to rest, like it doesn't have to be rocket surgery. And if you want to do like the high performance, ridiculous 10 tech feedback, cool. But that at the end of the day, it's what are you going to use, what feels good for you, what works, and how do you recover? Is like, I think every human's a fingerprint.
Yeah.
That's sleep. That's all these things. These principles hold true and influences, but everybody you have to like understand as a coach, which you've coached your face off for your whole life too, is like what influences me doesn't influence them. So you have to ask questions and find simple implementations to improve performance.
Sure.
So,
and Danny, you're doing your next things, what, at the end of the year? The ruck that you're getting ready for?
It's the day after your birthday.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess my point was, to Brian's point, was you're getting ready to do a ruck. Cole's done at least one competition, if not multiple CrossFit competitions this year. Me and Treadway compete in the low rim league. So we're under the lights out here, boy.
I got one in September.
You got one in September
coming up. But I was going to say, especially like for those listening who haven't even, thought about breathing and how that impacts performance and stuff like that, even just being around Peter so much, just thinking like during like a hard workout or something like that, I am constantly thinking like, oh, I need to fucking calm my breath down. Like calming my breath down and doing some small, quick box breaths basically helps me out so much.
Same. And it's the simple awareness.
The simple awareness, and every time I'm doing zone 2, like long cardio, low intensity work, I'm only nasal breathing. I never breathe through my mouth. And I think it's super underrated and neglected.
That's all coming from him just being around here.
Yes, that's all it is.
And like even the box press aren't even best practices.
No,
like,
but it's better because I had no practice.
I'm kidding.
Hey, we had zero practice before that.
All right, no, I'm kidding. But like that shows you the power of conscious breathing, and like the skill of breath is get out of your head and get into your body. And like, are you controlling your breath, or is your breath controlling you? Can you speak the language you want to feel? And like, if you're focused on slower breathing, box breathing is slow breathing. Like all these, it's that simple. But because like we don't realize how much of a fucking adversity our brain is. Because like in CrossFit in particular, these high intensity workouts, hockey players do similar things. In that realm, like your rest period is more fear of the next set sometimes. Or it's like, oh, I'm out of control. I don't feel as good as before I entered the last set. So it's just building up these mountains and problems and fears that like don't need to be there. And so it's just like a smoke and mirrors, like with a little infant, hey, look over here, focusing on the breath. Just so happens it also does slow down like your heart rate and recovery. So I think it's, again, invaluable. I make fun of what I coach, but it is fucking potent to people who have never even thought to intervene with the breath.
For sure.
Yeah.
Love it. I think that was probably an overload of information. I think people get a lot from it though. Meaning like there's a lot of people that are super busy on the app here, and definitely sleep could improve and breathing could improve. So you got to take some of these things and try to implement them. The box breathing, which is basically, you're saying it's not even a good practice anymore.
I'm saying holding your breath in the short windows of like 2 and 4, it is sympathetic in tone. So I like, particularly when your heart rate's up, live on just inhale and exhale. Just slow the inhale, extend the exhale.
I want to take it back. I'm not doing a 4-second box breath.
Okay.
I'm just
during an AMRAP.
I'm just trying to take a long breath and a slow and controlled
exhale. Yeah, cool. That's enough.
Like that is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just being cognizant of,
I use box breathing when
I've
got anxious.
Yeah, so box breathing, perfect. And box breathing, which is where the breath world, I think, gets it. I could do a 10-minute presentation on box breathing, and it'll show you that pace trumps everything. So you don't have to do exotic breath. Slow your breathing down. But like do you want me to break this down or is it too long? But
no, go ahead. Fuck it.
Like inhale and exhale are two sides of the box, and then inhale, hold, and exhale, hold the other two sides makes a box. You follow it around, blah, 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 blah. But inhale accelerates the heart rate, exhale decelerates the heart rate, respiratory sinus arrhythmia. And so you know that this inhale button, and if you're pounding the inhale button, that's hyperventilation, that's panic attack, that's the extremes of that world. Exhale, everything in yoga, when you're in a hard position, you exhale, you find more space, body relaxes, all these things. But it also slows the heart. It's a whole cascade happening in the heart. But when you get into holds, it's kind of like touchy territory because like short holds are fine. We brace all the time. We get the email. We're jumping. We're doing whatever. Like our body braces for very quick amounts of time. Once you get what research shows is like 2 to 10 second range, back to the consistency in the body after it's and breathing being part of our autonomic nervous system. When you inhale, the body wants an exhale. It's anticipating an exhale after. After an exhale, it's anticipating an inhale. So when you hold for more than like 1, 2, 3 seconds, your body's like, what the fuck's going on? And I need to conserve energy kind of thing. So in general, if you look at the box, because most people, our military teaches it, fire teaches it, box breathing, they call it tactical breathing. 3 sides of this box are actually like arousing, like sympathetically driven, like fight, flight, and freeze kind of tension in the body. Well, why does it work? Because it works. It turns you, if you do in the 4-4-4-4 side, turns you into a 4 breaths a minute person. Pace trumps everything. And that's why, like, just breathe slow. Breathe consciously.
It's just
and breathe
forcing
slow.
that.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so that's why And then when the heart rate's up, you don't need to be doing holds unless you're training CO2 tolerance or other. There is some holds that do accelerate down regulation because when the body does get to that window, it's looking for efficiency and shut down and save energy. So it will drive some people's heart rate down faster. And you can play with that, but it's like, that's more nuanced coaching. When I think more and more when I look at my coaching, like I'm the simple, significant masses to the monsters, like something along those lines, but it's simple. It needs to be coached simple because they won't understand the levers and how do we get best practices without making it nerdy and too much. So
great, Brian. Where can everyone find more information on this stuff, Brian? Like as your business?
As my business, Breathing for Performance is where you can contact me. My coaching is limited to like in-person workshops, presentations, and then one-on-one coaching right now. Yeah. And as we've talked about with some of the boys today, online coaching still coming soon.
And Chasing Edge's podcast coming soon again. Too.
Yep. January 1 at the latest, but hopefully November, December.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Fucking.
And the Rolling Stone keeps rolling.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for coming on, Brian.
Easy, boys.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that it? Outro song?
Outro song.
Please hold.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the AF Minicast. I'm the Graphic Gangster, Small Arms Danny, Brian Peters, the Commish Tyler Treadway, Cory G from the kitchen table. We'll see you next week.